Hi, my name is Bruce Young. I will once again be teaching an ElderQuest class every Monday at 1 p.m. starting on January 15th. And once again, it will be a class about C.S. Lewis. But this time it will be about his three science fiction novels, what are sometimes called his planetary trilogy or space trilogy. Out of the Silent Planet, Perelandra, and That Hideous Strength. You can find them in various formats, with electronic and on paper. But let me just tell you a little bit about each of them. Out of the Silent Planet, it's about a linguistics professor who's kidnapped and taken to Mars. Perelandra is about the same professor, this time taking a trip to Venus, where he saves the Adam and Eve of that planet from falling into the power of evil forces. And then That Hideous Strength takes place on Earth, but involves beings from various planets in the solar system, as well as various human characters, including Merlin, yes, the wizard from the Tales of King Arthur, who has awakened from a centuries-long sleep. As you can tell, these are not typical science fiction books. In fact, there's a question as to whether they are science fiction at all. That's one of the things we'll be discussing, is what is science fiction? Are these books science fiction or fantasy or some combination of both, or something else yet again? Certainly I can tell you that you'll be finding some religious elements in these books, as well as mythic elements, by which I mean characters, events, and settings, some coming directly from myth and others that just have the feel of myth, that sort of spiritual depth and mysteriousness of meaning that we find in myth. I can also tell you that these books are beautifully written. It won't be a surprise to learn once again that C.S. Lewis is a great writer and a great storyteller. He himself felt for a long time that the second of the three, Perelandra, was the best thing he had written up to that point. By the way, I do strongly encourage you to actually read the books, to get them in some format before the class begins, and to read them. However good our discussion is, it will be much better if you actually read the books, formed your own opinions, have comments to make. But for those who don't manage to do that, we will, make clear what happens in each book and discuss some passages from them. It's important also to read them in order because they do tell one continuous story from the first book to the third. In our class, we'll be discussing a lot of things, including why Lewis wrote the books, what influenced him, how elements in these books relate to other things that Lewis wrote, including in other books you may be familiar with. We will certainly look at symbols and mythic elements. We'll look at moral and theological issues. There are two things I'd especially like to emphasize that we'll be doing. One is that we'll consider what the books have to say about the meaning of life and about the place of our planet, including ourselves in the cosmos. But we'll also just be looking at these books as great adventure stories. We'll simply look at them as books to enjoy. There's lots to enjoy in these books. And so I look forward to sharing with you both the deep meaning and the pure enjoyment of these books, and also learning a lot more about C.S. Lewis himself.